Hi everyone, my name is Sanjay, and today we're going to be going over 10 Little Indians. And it's a song that incorporates last week's concept of eighth notes. And just before that song, I'm going to be going over a little piece to help you practice eighth notes before we go over the song. So yeah, that's for this week's class. Okay, so as you saw on the computer, that was 10 Little Indians. So now let's get into the theory side. So this time signature of the song is 4/4. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures. Now let's start on the first measure. Left hand is resting. So this is a song where you alternate between left hand and right hand. So for the first measure, left hand is resting. Actually, for the first two measures, the left hand is resting. So for the first measure, we have C, 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 C. We have one chord note, 2/8 notes, one chord note, 2/8 notes. And 2/8 notes is one beat. As we saw last week, an eighth note is half a beat. And 2/8 notes, as you can see here, is one beat, because half a beat and half a beat equals one beat. So the 2/8 notes here, 2/8 notes here, which is 2 beats in total, and chord note, 2 beats in total. So 4 beats in total, which satisfies our time signature. So our rhythm here will be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So the 1, this beat is the quarter note, and then we have the downbeat as 2, and the upbeat as and then 3, the quarter note, 4, and. So 4 is the downbeat on this eighth note, and is upbeat on the other eighth note. That's connected. And the measure can end on an and. It doesn't always have to end on a number. So that's the rhythm. So it's going to be played like ta, 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 ta. So for the next measure, we have E, G, G, E, C. So the rhythm will be 1, 2, and 3, 4. Chord note 1, upbeat, downbeat on this eighth note. 2, upbeat is the and. 3 is the other chord note, and 4 is the C. So it will be played like ta, 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 ta. Now we switch to our left hand for the third measure. It's gonna be D, 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 D. So that's how it's going to be played. Ta, 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 ta. Because the rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. It's the exact same rhythm as the first measure. So you'll see over through the song, it's like the same rhythms. So for the fourth measure here, it's the same rhythm as measure 2. It's 1, 2, and 3, 4. Because we have a B as a chord note, D, D, 2/8 notes, B chord note, and G chord note. So it's going to be played like ta, 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 like measure 2. Now for measure 5 here, we have right hand. It's alternating back to the right hand. Left hand is resting now. And it's going to be the rhythm, the notes are going to be C, 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 C. And it's going to be exact same thing as measure 1. It's the same rhythm and same notes. So it'll be played like ta, 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 ta. And now we have, for the sixth measure, we have E, G, G, E, C. It's the same thing as measure 2. The rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, 4. The same rhythm. E is the chord note, and the 2 G's are the eighth notes. The E is the next chord note, and the C is the last chord note. Now, for the seventh measure, we have D. We were switching back to left hand. Our right hand is resting, and we have D, 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 G, G. So the first D is a chord note, the two Ds next to it are connected eighth notes, and after the eighth notes, it's G and G. Both are quarter notes. And it's the same rhythm as measure 2, but it's different notes, and it's on the left hand. So it's going to be played 1, 2, and 3, 4. So it's going to be played like ta, 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 ta. And then for the last measure, we have just a whole note. As we learned that a whole note is 4 beats in the past, so it satisfies our time signature. And it's going to take up a whole measure because it's 4 beats. And we just have a whole note on the left hand. And it's going to be a middle C. Yeah, so that is the theory of 10 Little Indians. It has eighth notes. And yeah, so that's it. So this is just a little thing to help you practice eighth notes before we go over 10 Little Indians. So if I have my downbeat as C and my upbeat as D, the rhythm would be 1 and it's gonna be ta ta. That's how it's gonna sound, like ta ta. So C D. So C D. That's how eighth notes are gonna sound in this piece. So if it's the upbeat is C and the downbeat's also C, it's gonna be C C. And if I have my downbeat as C and my upbeat is an eighth rest, it would be C rest, C rest. And if my upbeat is rest, if my downbeat is a rest and my upbeat is C, it's gonna be rest C, rest C. And yeah, that's a little thing to help you practice eighth notes. Okay, so now let's get into the real practice of 10 Little Indians. So first, let's get our hand positions together. So for our left hand, we're gonna have our thumb on D, actually, and our second finger on middle C, our third finger on B below middle C, our fourth finger on A below that B, and our fifth finger on G below that A. So it's gonna be thumb on D. And now for our right hand's gonna be crossed over our thumb here on left hand. So it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like this. So we're gonna make like this position. So left hand on D, right hand on middle C, and your left hand second finger is also on middle C. So you want to keep your hand position like this. And your right hand second finger will be on D, where the left hand thumb is. So we're gonna have cross position, and we're gonna have third finger right hand on E, fourth finger right hand on F after that E, and fifth finger right hand on G above the F. So it's going to be a cross position like this. Now that we have our positions together, we want to play the first measure now. So the difference between, first of all, the difference between a chord note and an eighth note is that the eighth note is half a beat and the chord note is 1 beat. So the chord note will be sounding like this. 1, and the eighth note is, so it's just ta, and the chord note is 1. So now let's get back in the position and let's play the first measure. So the first measure is C, 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 C. And the rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, 4, N. So ta, 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 ta. All C's. So this is just right hand playing. So thumb, first finger that's playing. It's the only finger that's playing on this first measure. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, and you guys should just practice that measure and get it right once you're ready. Now let's go to the next measure. It's 1, 2, and 3, 4. So the 2 and is the eighth notes, and then the 1, 3, 4 are the chord notes. And the notes are going to be E, G, G, E, C. So the rhythm is ta, 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 ta. So it's still right hand. Let's start with the third finger on E. So E. Next our pinky on G, and it's going to be 8th note. So G, G, and then go back to E on, it's a chord note. E, and then back to your thumb. C. So E, G, G, E, C. So ta, 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 ta. Now for our third measure, we've swapped to our left hand. Now it's our left hand playing. Now we want to start on left hand thumb because it's all D's on this measure. And it's the same rhythm as the first measure. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So ta, 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 ta. So D, 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 D. So let's do that again. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. And now for our fourth measure, it's gonna be B, D, D, B, G. Same rhythm as measure 2. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. So let's start with our third finger on B on our left hand, and it's gonna be B, D, D, B, pinky, G. So go from third to thumb to pinky on left hand. So B, D, D, B, G. So that is the first 4 measures. Now let's get into the 5th measure. Okay, so now for measure 5, it's the same exact measure as measure 1. It's same notes, same rhythm. So ta, 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 ta. All C's, all middle C's. And this time it's on right hand. We alternated back to our left hand, to our right hand. So we're gonna play on thumb, and it's gonna be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Same exact thing as measure 1. Now, for measure 6, we have the same exact thing as measure 2. It's E, G, G, E, C. Same notes and same rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So let's play it. E, G, G, E, C. So ta, 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 ta. Now switch to our left hand for the 7th measure. It's gonna be D, 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 G, G. Same rhythm as measure 2, but different notes. So it's D quarter note, D, D 8th note, and G quarter note, G quarter note. So D, 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 G, G. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then for our last measure, our 8th measure, it's just going to be left hand still, and it's just going to be a whole note on middle C. And it's going to play that with your second finger. C, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that is the last 4 measures. So now we're going to play the whole song, and I'm going to try to call out the rhythm as we go and when we switch. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Switch to left hand. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Switch to right hand. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Switch to left hand. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. Okay, so that will be it for this week's class. Thank you, and see you until next class. Bye.